And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are live. Here you are. You have made it to the SALT, the Saints Advocating Law and Truth. There is no
Shalom,
such
Israel.
thing as a host because we're all hosts. We're all here together. We are here as brothers, community building. We are here to discuss and have talk about the things that is relatable and relevant to our Hebrew community.
That's right.
I'm Michael Rob, as you can see on the screen. I have Brother Benaiah with me. I have Brother
Shalom.
Sar with me.
Hey,
We're your
Shalom.
judges. Shalom, everybody.
Shalom, Israel. Good to see y'all one more time. Good to see y'all one more time.
That's right.
Uh,
Because we're going to sit here and we're going to have some talk, man. Because I feel as though that the community has been lacking a lot of information, a lot of details that I'm hearing on the streets that people are saying that we're missing something or there's something more to it, or where do we go from here? So this is basically a part of that series of what I did from the last lesson we was on, Sar, where we're just really talking about where do we go from here and what's next? What are we going to talk about? What do we do once you come into the truth and you know how to do breakdowns and precepts and how to cut a Christian and everything? Now, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? What comes next? So this is what brings us here to this. But today's subject is going to be about the talk. But before we begin, let's give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, because without him, we're nothing, but with him, man, hopefully we get up out of here. All right. We're trying to do something different with our lives, improve our families, and community build. We don't want to sit there and create a division. We want to bring in unity. We want this place to be so that everyone can have a safe place to be. The city of refuge, where this is a community of refuge, where it don't matter what your colors are, who your camp is or was. It's all about coming together as Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
That's it. It doesn't matter. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get this intro in with that Matthew.
Khan, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? Is it thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men?
That's right. Go ahead and break that down. What say ye about that?
We give the world its colors. We give the world its brightness. We are that fruit. We are that substance that makes things stand out. Without us, the world is in black and white.
Mhm.
It's no you can't. There's no articulation. We are that. We're the salt. Without salt, food has no flavor. That's what the Israelites are.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right. I'm gonna bring out Mark chapter 9 and verse 50. Salt is good, but if the salt have lost its saltiness, wherewith will ye season it? Have salt in yourselves and have peace with one another. And that's what we need to bring out. It's having peace with one another. That's why I feel as though, and we all come together as being salt of the earth. He just explained it. We are what helps the earth become better. And then to have that salt within ourselves, it'll help us to love one another, as what Christ actually said to do. And we actually want to promote that. What thus says Christ? And Christ said to do this. All right, let's do it. So simple as that. What say ye, anyone? Exactly. Playing upon tables.
Yeah.
So let's get this thing rocking and rolling. So today we're going to be bringing out the talk. That's the subject, the talk, wherein we tend to, as brews, we are quick to throw precepts. We are quick to cut. We are quick to manage and dictate other people's lives completely and quickly. But sometimes we tend to forget that we need to control ourselves and then our own families.
Huh.
We actually tend to we get overzealous sometimes, doing everything else but focusing on what's important, which is us, ourselves, and our families. What good is it me trying to tell anyone else what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do anything, if I can't control my own household? That makes no sense.
Right.
But in the meantime, what we need to be doing and focusing on is we actually need to have real deep and serious conversation with one another. And with that being said, the conversation that we need to have with one another, those who are married or with children, or just have a spouse or a significant other that they're getting close to, or even if you're by yourself, you're still going to be affected by this particular passage is in the book of Matthew. So we're going to read this and then we're going to explain what we're going to talk about. So whoever want to bring out that Matthew 10, please start with 34.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 34.
Bring that out.
Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Keep going.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
He said, my sake, you shall find it, right?
Mhm.
Just that little portion right here. That's why I want to entitle this The Talk. If you really sit and think about it, The Talk. The Talk is, he said, those who love, basically your loved ones more than me, you're not worthy. So, since I have my two brothers on here, just for having these brothers have children and are married, it's very good to have this opinion so you actually can hear this coming from them. So, brothers, have you had the talk with your significant others and children to let them know what this said in Matthew 10 and 34 through 39?
Yeah. To a certain extent, I have people in my family who don't actually believe in this truth. So it gets a little frustrating. But yeah, I've had this talk, and it takes a little delicacy. Yeah, you can't just bum rush the conversation and just
Right.
Impose what you know as to be true on other people. It's a delicate situation. Sometimes people in your family aren't ready to understand the little small truths about this part of the conversation.
And that's what's hard about having a conversation, because that's what's going to be so tough is to actually have it.
Mm-hmm.
That right there, we can explain everything under the sun to someone in the street and tell them everything they don't want to hear. Sometimes they only ask you for half the information you give them. But when it comes to someone who you love, who you lay next to, or who you got to take to school, you just like, how can I really say this? Why is that so much difficult? Why we show favoritism towards our family members in comparison to someone in the streets? Oh, because we don't have to worry about getting the third degree back from them.
Right.
Or we know we ain't never see them again, possibly. So we was like, look, I just want to slam you with all the information you can possibly handle. Good luck. But we do it with our loved ones that we got to see daily. You're like, oh boy, this is different. It's a little bit more difficult. What about you, Sar?
I feel like, to your point, what you said, it's a whole lot easier for me to do that in my house because, for the most part, I mean, I control my house. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm here. We all in the truth. So if I'm having a conversation with my wife, then somewhere in there, Matthew 10 and 34 on down, it's being explained, whether we talking about the world and whether we just going over scriptures and, we just reflecting on society. It's in there. We have family members that don't believe. So we have to, kind of learn how to deal with and it's confident in the scriptures, knowing that I can tell you about it, but I can't make you do it. The Most High brings an increase. For
Right.
me, my issue and my problem is with people who I knew in the world, homeboys who I had and the partners who I may hang around from time to time. I can show them a little bit, but I don't kind of bend their arm like I do my own house. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? And I got love for them, and I want them to come into the truth. I want them to see, what's going on. But I just had to distance myself because I can't let them, just like in the scripture. I gotta love the Most High more than I love them, so I can't let them, the love I have for them, drag me into their sins and drag me into their ways.
True. 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 So this is scratch the surface a little bit, right? Verse 35. Can you read that again, sir?
Come on, Matthew 10 and verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Now, when we see that at variance, we automatically thinking that, all right, we're just gonna come in and we're just gonna speak this truth, and you like it or not, you're gonna have to like it or don't, or you gotta get out, or you're just gonna have to just deal with it. But it doesn't work that way because we still have respect to our parents, and we're just not gonna come in with fire and brimstone and throw the Bible at them and think we're not gonna get slapped against the side of the head or not be invited back over for your Sunday dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But he turns around and said, I am coming to bring a variance against you. So now you're going to have to sit here and deal with, it's not just you against your family members. Look who else is involved in that. The daughter against her mother. They're going to have issues. The in-law is going to have issues with your significant other. Someone is going to catch an L from some of this. But the point of it is, because we will sit back and think like, I really don't like them that much, so it won't bother me if they don't talk to me that often anyway. So you'll sit there, you be this is wicked like that. You be like, look, it ain't gonna bother me. But you go down to verse 37. What does 37 mean though? Read that one.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth
Pause. Read that again in super slow mo. No, just read that one again.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
How can you look your parents in the face and be straight up and honest with them? And some people are spoiled as hell. We know that. Some people are who just their parents has been with them, has shown them everything, given them everything. And you say, I love my parents. Some people still stay in their parents' house. They live in the basement. I'm not making fun, but I'm just saying people truly love their parents. But you turn around and say, but if you love them more than me and you haven't even seen me, you haven't heard me, you haven't felt me, you ain't see that cloud on that mountain, you didn't see that pillar of fire, you didn't see that earthquake, you didn't see none of these different miracles that's happened before. But he said, if you love your mother and father, who you see on a daily basis, who took care of you, who wiped your butt, who kissed your boo-boo, who came to your games, who sat there and taught you, and you had to break down having bad grades to them, who allowed you to go spend out at your friend's house, who gave you these birthday parties, all kind of stuff. If you love them more than me, what else did he say?
So ye are not worthy of me.
Keep going.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
And you be like, hold on. These are my kids. Sorry, you just had another child. But now your child is as old as mine. You and I have older daughters as well.
Mm-hmm.
If we love them, that we work so hard to make sure that they're safe, we give them clothes, allowances, you feed them, and they're not cheap.
At all.
And you sitting there saying, if you love them more than me, you're not worthy. How can you have a talk? Have you had a talk? And can you have that kind of talk to say, son, I love you, but I don't love you more than Christ? And they gonna look at you like, what? Go and tell your parents, Mom, I love you to death. Or you say, Mom, I love you to life, but I love someone more than you. And who could that be? Don't say your wife. You know, they'll throw that in your face and everything too. But you be like, I love Christ more than you. They be like, yeah, right. Something to think about. But the kicker is, it's verse 38 to me. Read that again.
Matthew 10 and verse 38.
Okay.
And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
So not only do you have to outlove Christ over your people, now you got to bear the same kind of burden that he had to have and follow in his footsteps. Because he already told you, I'm coming to set an variance in the beginning. So now they're going to hate you. And that's the hardest thing, to have your own people that being your support, who love you, who's being your counselors, who walk some of y'all down the aisle, who gave you away, who gave you some of the best advice, who was your coach, who has sat there and done so much for you as a child, to now they're not on the same level as Christ. Not the Most High, as Christ. Christ said, nah, bro, you're not even worthy of me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he says, at the end, it says, he that findeth his life shall lose it. So you're trying to save your own life and save their lives, you're going to lose it. But if you're willing to give up your life for him, that's when you actually save yourself. But we can't get to that. I want to get to the part where, can we have that conversation and have it? So like, have we had that conversation? It's so important for us to be able to sit back and talk, to say, hey, I love you and all, but when it comes to push to shove and we're going to be all hell breaking loose and they're kicking in your doors and we know they're ravishing the women, they're taking them out, they are going to take your children. Think about this, Benaiah. Your son is your son. Your son is he's you. There he is. He is you.
Mm-hmm.
And that man has that gun to his head and said, I am going to kill him unless you take this mark. I am going to blow his brains out across that wall and paint a different picture, all because I need you to take this chip. Or better yet, denounce and renounce the Most High.
I love my son. I love my son to life. I love my son more than just about anything else in this world. But that right there, I'm sorry, man. Look, hey, me and my son, and all I say, yeah, it's a delicate conversation, but hey, I'm just a brash person. I told everybody in my family, but I love you to death. But if they asked you the same question, I'd look you in the face and say, tell them to shoot me.
That's right.
Just tell them to shoot me, and then you do what you got to do afterwards. Don't even let me be a pawn. So that's the mentality that I would have. I love you to death, man. I'm gonna mourn you, but I'm not about to go above the Most High. I'm not about to do it. And I like how you broke down. You was talking about Matthew, but you skipped one particular verse, man. But I ain't gonna touch that verse. I'm gonna go to Micah. I'm gonna go to Micah. That's where I'm gonna go. I need to go touch that verse. Micah 7:6. For the son dishonoreth the father, the daughter riseth up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house.
Yep.
That's what makes it so hard to teach your own family, because they know every fault you have. They know everything you did in the past. They know everything. So as soon as you go to say, hey, well, you should do this. Don't eat that pork. Don't eat that shrimp. Well, nigga, you was eating the pork and the shrimp last week. You was doing such and such and such. That's how you got to deal with that contention. And you know you're only doing it to better your family. But they know that you did all of these other things. That's why the people in your household are the hardest to teach, and they're your first enemies, because they know everything that you possibly already done. And if you don't come to terms with it and talk to them truthfully and honestly, you can't have these conversations with them. They're gonna eat you alive. You have parents that have been. I have two parents that's been in the Christian church maybe 30 years. You try attacking their doctrine. Try attacking what they're saying at the time. I've done it several times. I've been embarrassed more times than I've won the argument.
Right.
Because I am not equipped to deal with what they already have. And I didn't understand. Why won't they just listen to me? They're not supposed to listen to me. This is my practice ground on how to teach everybody else. If I can get through to my family, I can get through to anybody. I can get through to anybody. Well, I'll let you get back to your lesson, Adam. I like how you skipped that verse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did. I did it on purpose, because sometimes knowing that they can be your enemy, it makes it easier. But what if they're not your enemy? What if they are solely all on board?
True.
And they love your dirty draws, and then you get to that point where it's all right, I'm gonna throw this in you. You just had you another little baby. Right?
Right.
How old is your baby?
About to be 3 weeks.
Weeks.
Yep.
Someone comes in and kicking the door. They got you tied up, handcuffed, whatever. They got you all gagged up. They got your wife on one side and got your babies by the ankles, and they hold them up. And they tell you, renounce the Most High, or deal with your baby going up against the wall. Or take this, as we call the mark of the beast, which could be a multitude of different things. Take this. Do this. Sell your soul, as they say. Give it up. Give up the rest of your family. Where they at? And you like, and they get to swinging. Are you going to crack? Can you crack? How would you be able to look your wife in the face and tell her, without ever having to talk, that your little one just got smashed up against this wall because you didn't want to renounce the Most High? You know, that's her baby too, but they're going to talk to you. You the ones going to make the decision. And she looking at you like you better not say nothing. How would that make you feel?
Dang, when we think about stuff like that, we just be like, you know what, man, I'm gonna be stiff. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down, and ain't nothing never in this world that's gonna make me, drop the Most High, drop this truth. But when you faced with something real like that, kind of show you like where's your faith at? Only thing we got to lean on is what the scriptures say. How it says that all that's lost, for his sake, it'll be returned 100-fold in the kingdom. I'm paraphrasing, but it's just, when you put it like that, it's tough, but that's a tough one. I would have to do it And I think all of us would say that, yeah, we'll do it. We'll just let whatever happen to, whatever my
Mhm.
family members. And, I would say it'll be a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier pill to swallow if it was me, just take me.
Right.
Mhm.
I look at my newborn, and as I hold her, that's something tough. That's something that's a situation I pray that I'm never in. Um,
Right.
I can't give up, and I can't drop who created me,
Hmm.
and who I didn't create myself. I didn't create my child. I didn't mold it into being. Somebody did that for me.
Hmm.
I didn't make myself breathe. I didn't give myself life and all the things that I have and have obtained. And I didn't do any. I didn't do any of that on my own power. So I can't deny the power that fueled me. I can't deny my source. Um, so yeah, man, I can't deny the Most High God. Even until death. I think that's in Second Ezra chapter 2, where Ezra had the vision. He said, "Who are these that are clothed in white that are being crowned?
Yeah,
Those that stood stiffly for the word
that's right.
until death."
Yeah, that's. Whew, I know. But you said something that was very important though when you said that, hey man, we gotta have this talk. But it's like, man, if it's to me, it'll be easier. But who says it's gonna be that easy? This supposed to be a hard decision to make. So would it be easier for you to say that and do it if we were to have this talk right now? See, it's one thing it happened and you the spur of the moment, but you never spoke to your spouse about it and said, baby, I love the Most High more than I love you. I love Christ more than you. I can get another you, not just be funny, but it's like he would help me and do that because I love him so much that maybe he will save you from the situation or put that spirit that I have that I fell in love with into someone else. Bring you back. I don't know what's going to happen in the end. But if you never had that talk, how much do we know we truly love the Most High? If we're not even willing to talk about it, are we ashamed? Are we afraid? Or we just don't know? Or what do you think it is? Because I want to bring out the story in Maccabees on what this mother did for her 7 sons. Because this is a great example because we don't have these discussions, these talks as we should about, man, look, how are you supposed to act? How are you supposed to deal with certain situations? What do you do whenever there's an adulterer? What do you do when someone is lame, sick, lost, hurt? Man, the Bible has so many different examples, and this is another. Ooh, there's another example in the scripts on this sad thing, right? So we can go to Second Maccabees chapter 7. And we're just going to just touch on a few things because this is a wonderful story, but I don't want to read the entire thing because it's beautiful. I want the audience to read it for themselves and let it marinate within their spirit. But I just want to touch on just a couple key points, right? But, I mean, think about it, man. What's supposed to come is supposed to be something that ain't never been seen before.
Mhm.
But we've seen dogs getting sick on people. We've seen water hoses. We've seen someone getting quartered with horses, dragged behind a pickup truck down the road, lynchings. So sorry you can handle someone throwing your babies to a couple of pit bulls. So Benaiah, you can sit there and you'll be cool with telling your wife I love you, but you're just gonna have to take this one for the team as they got her strapped between. I cannot remember that movie, but someone was what was that movie? They had two 18-wheelers, right? And this guy, I cannot remember, but all I remember is the scene, and she is tied between two 18-wheelers. And the guys is like basically he's in control, and he said you got to say or do something he had to do, but the guy got his foot on the brake. You know, all you do is take your foot off the brake, and the natural pull from the torque
Mhm.
gonna make it roll. And he's like, say something. You got to do something. I cannot remember that movie. But he took his foot off. And he was like, I can't do it. Up. All right, fine. Take my foot off. And he just starts stretching. And then he said, forget it. I'm just going to hit the gas. Pow. All because you say you love Christ. So I invite anyone, to have that talk amongst your family. See where they stand. It's going to be painful as all get out. But what if the enemy started to use them against you? He used them to get to, let's say you had 15 other brews in the back room, but they got your favorite, your close one, your loved one, and saying, if you don't, I'm going to blow their head clean up their shoulder. How much do you love the Most High? 1 for 10? 1 for 2? 1 for 100? I don't know. Let's see what this mom did. Let's read chapter 1, verse 1, and we'll go down to 2, and we're going to just jump around. All right.
2 Maccabees 1:1.
Nah, chapter 7, verse 1.
Chapter 7, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
All right, it's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips.
There you go. So you already know what the setup is. That was just to taste swine's flesh. Are you willing to die for these law, statutes, and commandments? Because you know a lot of you, I'll be saying that I die for the Most High. I die for these law, statutes, and commandments. You can't take me out of this truth until you get hit across your back with a scourge. How many times it took for Kunta Kinte to change his name to Toby?
I don't know. Bro was hard though. He took a couple whips.
He took a couple whips.
Like 4 or 5 of them.
But he sure enough changed that name to Toby.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me Peter, whatever you want to call me. You can call me Joe. I mean, bro, it's the truth. That's just to taste swine's flesh. How much more you think it's gonna be when they come at you and talking about renounce the Most High? Christ, stop saying his name. Take them fringes off. This is just to taste swine's flesh. Man. Some of y'all be like, I don't mind because I do like that pulled pork sandwich.
That bacon is delicious.
You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all be like, well, it wasn't too far away from that shrimp. Bah, get out. I mean, it's just Red Lobster. I mean, we're just saying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they put a little butter on it and they put a little sauce, they're like, just all you gotta do is just take this, and you are good. I will let you and your entire family go. Right? Keep going.
Verse 2. But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldst thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers.
All right. He said, we're ready to die. What's taking you so long? Let's get it on. You know what's crazy about that? It's easier to be the first one. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you don't have to bear the guilt of seeing anyone coming after you. You know? Now, we all know from football, because we all played football before. We all know sometimes it sucks to be first. Because sometimes you can go first and you might have made that mistake. Either the coach going to yell you wrong or you get blasted and you be like, damn, that was embarrassing as hell. Mm-hmm. Or it's better to be first so you can get through that and you turn around. Now you got more time to take your breath. Because you know someone behind you is going to screw it up. They give you more time to catch up on your breathing. Mm-hmm. So you don't know where I'm going to be at. Should I go first? Do I go to the middle? Shit, should I go last? I don't know. Because sometimes we're gonna do a little bit too much thinking at the wrong time. You're like, damn, maybe I should have went first. Or maybe I should have went second or third. But as he just said, we're ready to die. He spoke up for everybody. That might be you. You might have to speak up for your people in your family. Is your wife willing to speak up for you? Is your child willing to speak up and say, yeah, that's right. Kill him. And then you be sitting there thinking like, damn, I did just put him on punishment 2 weeks ago. You're like, oh, God. Kill the bastard. You're like, damn, my own son. Hey, man, you took my PlayStation away from me. Remember that? So there'll be different things like that. We can giggle at it, but it's the truth. Because sometimes we just don't know what's going to happen, right? Go down to verse 4.
Verse 4. Which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his body. The rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
He made him an example. You pissed off the wrong guy. So now think about this. He pissed him off because he was the first one, and he did that. He cut off the utmost parts of his body and his tongue. Y'all know he did. He cut off some limbs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know that ain't fast. Probably slow, dull, agonizing. Imagine you second born, a third out of this one, 7. But remember, there's a mother involved in this. All right. Verse 5.
Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus.
Now let's be real. I want y'all to really think about this. You mean to tell me after you just saw that, some people you know in your family, I mean all your family. I ain't talking about the ones who are the bruised, who got their fringes on. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about everybody in your family. I want you to think about it. They gonna sit there and be encouraging one another. Sorry. You mean to tell me all them people in your family is gonna kumbaya together and be like, you know what? We're gonna take this out. So are you messing up for everybody? Why you had to run your mouth and say something, man? Now he can't even say nothing. He can't even say sorry. He got his tongue cut out. Take back what you said, man.
Damn that, he just got deep fried.
Right, you know, like bacon. You were sizzling over there, bro. We smelling you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's think about this. We don't have these kind of conversations, man. We don't. That man over there, but bro, sorry, you a big dude, bro. They're gonna use you as an example. When you go down, you gonna flip flopping like a fish out of water. They gonna be like, bro, check please. I'm out. What do you want me to do? I take it right here in my right hand, or is it my forehead? Where you want to put this? What we doing? You see what I'm saying? All because you ran your mouth, bro. Is the rest of your family gonna follow suit?
Hey, Salakia. It ain't even, like we always talk about our forefathers, our foremothers, and ancestors, and we talk about how we trying to get back into the truth, and how wicked they were, and how much of idolatry they was in, and all of that stuff. But I don't see none of us doing this. What they just basically kind of like looked upon themselves and said, if we gonna die, then we gonna die. This how we gonna die. Like we not gonna conform.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody in the truth. I don't think we ain't doing this. We like if it had to be like this, I'd be like the man from I forgot the name of that movie, Apocalypto, when he was about to get his head chopped off, and he was like the third one in line, and he looking up at the sky, and he looking around at everybody else, and then
Yeah,
just
yeah.
something magnificent just happened. That at the whole time we sitting in line like this, waiting on our turn to be tormented. I'm gonna be looking at the sky like, is Christ coming yet? Is he gonna praying Christ? Come on, you whatever,
Right.
Lord, whatever
What
you
you
gonna do it now.
Make it happen.
I'm next. But I commend this type of courage, because this type of courage I don't believe it's in Israel. We can speak about us, and we can speak about us being better than our ancestors, and how wicked they was in the wilderness, and how wicked they were in the land, and all of that. But we tend to forget that there were people around that was like this. It was people around that was standing up like this, and we gonna stand up. The example is set. This hell of an example is set right here. Are we gonna do this? If it come down to this, are we gonna be the ones to do this? Are we gonna have the balls enough to, look our enemy in his face and laugh at him why he doing what he doing?
Right. Y'all say it now until you start pulling them toenails out one by one. Y'all be like, bro, that hurt. That's something to think about. You be looking in the sky. Where is that?
I can't believe he ain't came yet. I can't believe it.
I know I saw a chariot last night, man. What y'all waiting on, man?
You're like, come on, man, quit playing.
Christ tripping.
Man.
Go out like that.
Bro, it's like, that was just what the first one. We're going to skip down. Let's go on down here to verse 18, right?
Verse 18. After him also they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our God. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us.
He made it sound so eloquent. Marvelous things are done to us. No, we're going to speak in layman's terms. We're going to speak the way we speak now. What? Y'all crazy. Bruh, kill me. What did he say? Take me to jail. Take my head off. Yeah, you say that now. But let's be real. Bro, that is hard. That is hard. Marvelous things, something that we ain't even seen before. Your brothers is flip-flopping like flapjacks on a skillet. Verse 19 says, but think thou not thou that takest in hand to strive against God, that thou shalt escape unpunished. We thinking about this like, then you got to realize, what if we ain't going to escape? We're going to hold this L. We're going to go through this. But what's important is the next line. Read 20.
20. But the mother was marvelous above all, and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare with a good courage, because of the hope that she had in the Lord.
Read on.
Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with the courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts. With a manly stomach, she said unto them.
I don't even want to read what she said unto him, because that's the conversation you're going to have. Right? Man, 7 of her kids. Right? That's heavy, man. I'm going to read 23. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. We don't regard our own selves. So can you even tell your family, don't regard my life? Don't save my life. Allow me to die, and allow me to die honorably for these laws, statutes, commandments for Christ. Let me die this way. Let me be tormented. What you see, allow it to happen. Don't resist. You can cry, but let it ride. See what I'm saying? But let's get a little bit more. Verse 29.
Verse 29. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren.
There it is. Take thy death, that I may receive thee again. She say, look, die. And I pray I see you again. That's what we're going to tell our kids and our wives and our husbands and our family members. You're going to die. But it's something greater is going to come, like you said, in Esdras. You have that crown given to those who willingly sacrifice themselves. Right? So there's a reason for it. 31.
31. And thou that hast been the Salakia, and thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of the Most High.
Read on.
For we suffer because of our sins. And though the living Lord be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants.
That's dope. What?
Hey, Salakia. But that Christ said, he said, Christ said, fear not him that can destroy the body, but fear him that can destroy the body and soul in hell.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. So, last one, verse 40. So this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in the Lord. Because at the end, verse 41, last of all, after the sons, the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feasts and the extreme tortures. Because people are just wicked. This world is wicked. It's going to need to be destroyed and cleansed. But I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention and just have a talk. And the talk is what we need to have with one another, with our family, friends, your loved ones, whatever. What would you say? How would you say it? How would you bring it up? You can bring it up during dinner, before school, before the big game. When is it ever going to be a good time? You know, the new moon is coming. And I pray that you guys are going to enjoy your time that you have with your family. You guys enjoy your family while we can before the trumpet start to blow and things start to really happen and get crazy out here. Because it's going to get real stupid. Real stupid. But I thank you, brothers, for coming on because it's all about having a talk. So if you had to have a talk, what would it sound like? What would it look like? Because she's having to have that talk during what it is they were going through. But can you have that talk? And will you have that talk beforehand? Because what if she never got a chance to speak to her sons to encourage them? What if she didn't? Maybe that was a little bit of grace, I guess you can say, for doing that.
That's kind of where Antiochus messed up. He gave them a chance to be encouraged.
You think we're going to get that same opportunity? We don't know. I have no idea. But man, that is something to really think about, bro. So I challenge even those who watch this video to sit down and have a talk. Because a lot of us don't think about that. We're thinking about solely going out in the streets and the highways and the byways, cutting people up and down, destroying Christian doctrine. We sitting there cutting our own family members up to get them back on track. You're throwing the Bible at their faces all the time. We'll sit there and we want to celebrate and wear our best garments going to these feast days and holy days. And we're trying to do the best that we can, but we don't sit there and talk about what is to come, what it's going to look like, how it's going to be. Get yourselves prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually for what's to come. What are you doing for it? How are you going to prepare? Why are we not preparing ourselves? Even if it's not for us, when I prepare our children, so whenever the time comes, they can say, "Hey, man, my dad rose me up to teach me, and my mother prepared me for when this might ever happen. So now I'm ready. Hey, bring it on." Because when they saw what was happening, they said, "Look, bring it on." Number 2, bring it on. Number 3, bring it on. They encourage themselves and each other. What are you gonna do if you by yourself? Who's gonna encourage you? Something to think about. Any last words from you guys?
Wow. Be blessed, Israel. It's not gonna be an easy road you got to go down. Hard choices gonna have to be made. You know, it's what we have to deal with. It's what we have to do. Mothers, be encouraged. Fathers, just know that at some point you're gonna have to talk. You're gonna have to talk to your family. You're gonna have to talk to your kids. You have to let them know, even if it's just to let them know at some point I may be taken out of this house to be persecuted on my own without you. You need to talk to your children and get them ready. Get your sons ready, because what if it doesn't happen in our generation and it happens in their generation?
Mm-hmm.
They're the one that has to encourage their kids. Get them ready. It's not an easy thing to do, and we know it's not something you look forward to talking to your family and children about, but it's a necessary thing. It's something that's necessary. We look at the times right now. We see where it's going. Sometimes you just have to swallow that pill and let them have it. Just tell them the truth. Be honest with them. They'll thank you later. Trust me.
Yeah.
They'll thank you later.
Kind. Shalom, Yashawan. Shalom, brother. Because it's he had brought up Revelation, 14:12, and I read it. Here are the patience of the saints, and here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Hamashiach Yahushua. And that's it. That is true. So, and with that, let's give our honor and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And I pray that everyone can sit back and really take the time and to check yourselves and say, am I getting better? Am I doing better for the Most High? Am I doing these things what Christ actually said when he actually walked this earth? When he come back, he is not going to come back as a lamb, as they say. He's going to come back as that lion. So with that, thank you guys for coming on. I do appreciate it. Amen. We kept it short and sweet. We gave them less than an hour. Hopefully these guys actually pay attention and actually get through the whole video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thumbs up, whatever it is to take, because that's how you guys get to the kingdom, with the like, shares, and thumbs up and subscribes. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess that's how you do it, right? Is that how y'all do it? Is that how it's supposed to go? You know what I'm saying? People crazy, boy. People think that's all it takes to get the kingdom. Hey, like, share, and subscribe, and everything. Look at it, man. Read for yourself. You don't believe me? Read for yourself. And with that, Israel, hey, y'all don't gotta go home, but you're gonna get off of here though. All right. Love you all. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.